So back in 2010, I went on a trip to rural China. My initial reason for going back to China was to visit family, kind of play around. I used to deliver newspapers door by door and I collected about $1,000 and I wanted to go back to China and buy video games and a Game Boy. That was the goal. Now, my mom took me to a city called Suzhou where we visited a school for children with disabilities. Now, that school had a history that I learned and it was kind of heartbreaking to me. Because that school was for children with disabilities, a lot of parents would leave their children there. So many of these kids started off being a student, and then when semester ended, parents never picked them up. A lot of these kids ended up becoming orphans. The principal was about 75 years old, and she funded everything she had to take care of these children. Now that hit me hard because my brother, who was 2 years younger than me, was also born with disabilities, and throughout his entire life, my parents have given him extra love, as much attention as he needed so that he can develop and grow into who he is today. That was not the case for these kids. So that instant, I knew that $1,000 to me was gains, but it could mean a completely different future for all these kids. So I took that money and I bought school supplies, different reading materials for them so that they can develop. And thinking back, I thought, what more can we do? Me alone can only do so much. It took me 3-4 years to collect $1,000. But why don't I get the power of youth, the power of my peers together so that we can create an organization that really helps children with disabilities?
The story of Social Diversity for Children Foundation began in 2010 in Vancouver, Canada. Founded by a group of passionate high school students dedicated to making a change for those with disabilities. SDC is a registered Canadian charity that strives to unite people in its mission. From 2010 to the present, it has since developed into an international organization with over 1,000 people joining its cause. SDC organizes large-scale events such as annual galas and raises funds in order to provide resources and programs to young people with disabilities, fueled by a movement of empowering and equipping youth to find their voices.
My name is David Wang, and I'm the president of Social Diversity for Children Foundation, SDC. SDC's mission is to empower youth to empower children with disabilities. And we really believe that we can create a world where we are all family without discriminating against anyone and accepting everyone for who they are. SDC has 3 core programs. Number 1 is our music and art therapy programs, where we take youth with and without disabilities together, invite a music or art therapist so that they can use music and art as a medium for children to communicate with each other, to create that social bond and also to create friendships that hopefully last much longer than our programs.
What SDC aims to create are safe spaces for children with disabilities. We want them to feel included in our society and not an outcast. We want them to feel comfortable and we want them to express themselves in a space where they can truly feel like they have no limits.
Learning is a lifelong experience and everyone is capable of learning. And through learning, things such as drawing or music or just anything in general, we're able to realize our differences and embrace our uniqueness and individuality and see that everyone is special in their own way.
As a SDC member, I believe these programs actually bring a lot of fulfillment to everyone in our community. And for example, my brother, he actually had mild autism since he was a kid, and he hasn't had the chance of becoming who he actually could be. Through our programs, I believe that we can actually change our society and mold it to a prospering one.
Number 2 is we run programs outside of Canada where we send youth from around the world to countries like China, Thailand, Laos, Myanmar, where they experience what it's like locally for children with disabilities and communicate with local officials, local schools, and communities to talk about disability and disability awareness and how we can bring our programs to their countries. We go to schools such as the one I mentioned before in Suzhou, where back then they were basically struggling to survive due to lack of funding. We help them negotiate with local charities. We've also given scholarships to over 60 children over there, given school supplies, living supplies to all 143 children. We've helped them grow as a school. They used to have 1 building, now they have 2 buildings. They were able to renovate the entire thing so that it can be a better learning environment. In other provinces such as Yunnan, we visited rural parts in the mountains to visit families with children with disabilities. Now these families, they have never really seen the outside world. There was one family we visited where we had to travel 4 hours on a dirt road just to get there. Once we got there, there was nothing around them. One kid started running down the hills and came to find us. Her name was Sally. She came up, greeted us, didn't say a single word, but had a huge smile on her face. We talked to their parents and we communicated with them and realized that Sally, even though she looked like she was 7, she was 19 years old. She didn't have the resources available, she couldn't get any medical help or supplies, and she wasn't able to speak. Their parents didn't know why. They never even decided to go seek help. They kind of just gave up on life. After visiting them, we kind of provided them with both financial resources as well as living supplies. Year 2, when we went back, Sally came running down. She started saying, "Hello, Auntie, hello, Uncle, thank you very much for coming." And those were the first words that she has ever said. And we talked to the family, and he said that, "I didn't realize there were people that cared outside." Just by being there, just by going to these places and visiting them and treating everybody with respect, changed an entire kid's future.
Access is something that is so important to SDC. And something that's really heartbreaking is that for a lot of children around the world, they don't have the same opportunity to access the same procedures or medical processes that are available to other people. And what we wanted to do is bridge the gap between the two. So through our Project Light campaign, which SDC has been doing for 3 years now, is that we want to enable children in more rural communities or children that can't afford it to be able to have life-changing eye surgeries so that they can see the world, so that we can give the gift of vision.
We've paid and fundraised for surgeries for children with disabilities that, due to having different diseases at a young age, were not able to see throughout their life. One story in Guizhou was that one kid who never saw in his life, after we were able to help him regain sight, he opened his eyes, looked at our volunteers, looked at our youth, and started crying. He said he didn't realize how beautiful the world was. He didn't realize how blue is, and how black is, and how red is. Just these touching stories is truly a big part of what we do. The third part of our mission is to empower the youth in our communities to do more throughout both their teenage years and also their adult life. We believe that once we teach youth what it's like to give back to their societies, they're much more willing to give back at a later age in life and also do more for their societies. Most of our core operations are run by a youth team across the Lower Mainland. Now we have about 30 youth in high school who dedicate their time to making SDC what it is.
SDC hosts several youth training workshops each year, and we try to focus on disability justice and youth leadership.
I think being in SDC, it's given me a lot of opportunities to branch out, and especially with this team, I'm also learning a lot. And one of the most important things is learning to speak out about what I believe in.
Being a part of SDC is such a unique and rewarding experience that I don't think I'll be able to forget. I see myself getting more and more confident every day as I talk to more and more people who are interested in donating to our cause and such.
It gives me a lot of fulfillment, and it helps me become the person I actually want to be in the future.
Everybody who comes into our organization, we bring them on as part of the SDC family, because we truly believe that only when we are all comfortable with each other, when we are all close as family, can everybody develop as much as they can and learn as fast as they can.
By combining our weird interests, strange talents, and quirky senses of humor, we're able to make this tight-knit circle of people that not only care for each other, but also care for a cause that's so important. And I think that's really rare, and I think that's really special.
I've personally been a part of other organizations, but I honestly have to admit that working on the SDC team has been one of the best and most inspiring experiences I've ever had. All the members are so dedicated, motivated, and passionate. I could see the excitement in their eyes. It's honestly really nice working with people who actually feel passionate about what they do. I'm so blessed to be working on the SDC team with these members.
So that realization that SDC started becoming bigger than myself was when we started our first program in Vancouver. We started getting participants sign up for our programs. Our first participant, his name was actually Aaron. He joined our program in the very beginning. When he first initially joined, he was definitely nervous and scared and wasn't sure how he should be acting, even though we kept telling him that just be who you are. We love you for you. He joined as a participant for our music therapy programs. And about a year later, that's when we were having trouble raising funds. And we realized that we actually might not have the funds needed to run next semester. So we had a serious talk with the team, and we thought maybe we should take a pause on our program. When Aaron actually heard about this, he actually came up to me after one session and he fumbled through his pocket and he took out $5 and he said, "This was what I saved this past week. Can I donate it to SDC? I don't think this is enough, but I really want this program to keep going because this is the place that I feel truly at home at. I have friends I can talk to. I have people that really care about me and really appreciate me for who I am." It was that instant that I realized that SDC is not about me. It's not about us. It's about the entire community that we serve and the community that we help. So we kind of regrouped. We figured that, we have to start fundraising even more, because by us not fundraising, we're not just letting our participants down, we're also letting ourselves down and the entire community down.
Hi, my name is Aaron, and I've been with SDC for about 9 years. I started in late 2011, and I'm a participant with cerebral palsy and autism. SDC has given me a lot of confidence, and they've supported me emotionally and physically as well. I think my favorite part of going to the programs is so that I can see other children and I really have a sense of belonging. And I'm deeply touched by the volunteers' kindness. The programs help me walk out of isolation and help me better integrate into society. Before SDC, I had a lot of places wouldn't accept me, and I was very stigmatized by other people. But with the help of SDC, I think it's helped me find my voice and find my soul. The differences and impact they've made, it's brought a big change to my life. I would like to thank both my parents, my dad and mom. They've been with me throughout my whole life, supported me every step of the way. I think that more people should understand that disabled people are also human beings, and they have the same rights, and a lot of them share the same values and think the same way, and are capable of doing many things. People shouldn't pity us, but they should give us opportunities. I would tell my younger self that it's okay to make mistakes, and that people are very loving, and that although we're disabled, we should still make some kind of contribution to society and help society grow and advance.
So in the past 10 years, SDC has honestly grown from this little operation in my living room to an international organization at this point. We've worked with over 1,000 children with disabilities. We have over 1,000 members and activists throughout the world. SDC has had a very successful past 10 years, but we're looking into the future where we can really create an environment where all youth, regardless of their abilities, can find a place in society, feel comfortable, and grow even further. Our goals in the future are infinite. We want to bring back our old participants who graduated from our programs so that they're able to come back, work for us, volunteer for us, or even participate back into our programs as buddy volunteers so that they're able to inspire another generation of their peers to grow as much as they can. We're also going to continue funding scholarships for children with disabilities in schools in Asia, as well as fund a lot of parents and families that are in low-income situations where they're unable to provide different types of services for their own kids. In the past 10 years, not only have I seen all the kids that SDC helps grow up, I've also seen my brother grow. He's now 22, and he has his own dreams. He is also the happiest person I have ever met, and anybody has ever met. I've asked him one day, I was like, what do you want to be in the future? And he says he wants to be everyone's sunshine. So just like my brother, we hope that we can bring this comfort and confidence to every kid that we help, to give them the open space to grow into whatever they want to be, whether it's an astronaut or Prime Minister of Canada. We really hope that we can continue to help them achieve their goals and dreams.
Join the SDC family in our mission of empowering youth to spread compassion,
friendship,
and diversity in our future.